and wait and
Sure.
hope to see somebody within a short movie.
Yes. What? Are you disappointed because I've not thrown you?
No, I'm actually quite relieved.
You're...
but what is that? How are they playing that? Is it like is it a kind of comedy, or is it the serious issues between Barbie and Ken?
We'll find out in 2020.
Gone through this, but in your case, presumably, number of women, because of social distancing, the lockdowns, not being able to meet people, because, you know, there was a 2-year period when they weren't finding their partner, couldn't start a family. Do you think it should be available to the average number of women freezing their eggs? Another saw a 30% rise, and to people that they meet a partner and that they're able to have a family. 2 years of lockdown has meant that a lot of women haven't been able to do that. For the number of children that we have, because eventually they grow up to earn money and, you know, sorry to put a price tag on baby. A certain amount of time left on your passport to travel to different countries. We've got a couple of questions here. Sorry, Simon. Mrs. Hughes says on Twitter, do you need 6 out expiry dates and time left on passports? Extended.
Yes.
Will Turkey recognise the extension?
Right.
Say, you know, ask which is the best. You'd say, well, look, clearly the current team. What strikes you about the differences? Is there a north-south divide? Right, so here with her audition for The Crown...
I know. Let's just move on to the weather.
Britain relaxing childcare regulations and scrapping annual MOTs. Our main news this morning, drivers could be allowed to get a new MOT on their cars every 2 years rather than each year under cost of living plans being discussed by the government. There could also be an increase in the number of children that childminders are allowed to look after in order to cut the costs of childcare.
Ministers are considering a number of ideas to help families ahead of the local elections next week.
That's our main story this morning. Of course, there's an issue, isn't there, around the cost of living crisis with this increase in national insurance. We've just been having a debate about whether it should be postponed or abolished altogether. The point of the national insurance increase is to help pay for the NHS and social care. And there's a story this morning about GPs and whether GPs are doing their job in seeing all of their patients, or whether the whole system should be switched to one of a walk-in centre. No appointments, you just walk in. What's a time frame?
There's certainly lots of people having difficulties with their GPs. You've been sending us your emails and texts and tweets this morning. Very hard to get an appointment. I've been trying to get one since Monday, but the phone is constantly engaged. I went to the surgery last week and it was deserted. I waited 2 weeks for my appointment, only myself and one other person in the waiting room. I'm a cancer patient and stuff to fight the receptionist for an appointment, average time 3 weeks. So there's clearly a problem out there. The thing which we know, don't we, is if it's hard to get an appointment with your GP, people end up going to A&E, and that just shifts the problem and makes things worse. So this is something to worry about.
So we're going to be talking about that very shortly. Do send in your experiences. First, though, here's Charlotte with the rest of the day's news. About that situation, because Russia's desperate for rubles at the moment, but Poland and Bulgaria both refused to pay. They'll pay their bills, but not in rubles. So we'll keep you up to date with that, Charlotte. Thanks very much indeed.
Meanwhile, Richard Arnold is here.